So we have seen how many data types are there. Primitive data types like byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, and boolean. So Java allows you to use data of these 8 primitive types. Okay. And also you can do also your own type. You can create your own data type. Okay. And whatever data types you will create, that will be based on, that will be created, okay, based on which primitive types, these fundamental types. So now, your user-defined data type will be known as composite data type because it is made of primitive types. And the primitive and your composite data type can consist of primitive as well as composite data types. You can see one example here, type demo. Type demo, it has how many attributes? 4 attributes. All these 4 attributes are primitive. Okay. Of different data types, byte, int, float, char. And you have 2 methods. These are get data method and display method. So your data type is what data type you have created here? Type demo. So now, after this class is defined, after this data type is defined, you can create the variable of this data type. We don't call it variable, but we call reference variable. We call reference variable of this data type, like type demo OP1. OP1 is the reference variable. Okay. Now you have another class. See, date class. Date class, as you know, has 3 attributes. Date, month, and a year. So you have 2 constructors. Here the constructor overloading is displayed, is demonstrated. See, one is without parameter, non-parameterized constructor, and another is parameterized constructor. And you have a simple method, display method. So here also, when you create the date class variable, date, join date. See, join date is the reference variable. Okay. So just like your other data type, primitive data type, you are creating here variable of your class data type. So we have discussed, see, it is another example given from the dog class. No attributes, one behavior of the dog is mentioned, that is bark method. So here some differences some differences are mentioned in page 170 between primitive data type and user-defined data type. Okay. Primitive, as you know, they are built in. We have not created them. We just use them. But user-defined data types are created by us. Then, size. Actually, how many bytes the member of this data type, how many bytes the instance of this data type will take. That means the size of the primitive data type is fixed. You know, character data type takes, character data type variable takes how many bytes? 1. Yes or no? Then short takes how many? 2. Be quick. INT takes 4. Then last one of integer takes one is what? Long. Long takes 8. So like that. So they have fixed values. Okay. But on the contrary, this user-defined data type, actually their size depends on, depends on how many attributes are there, because the attributes, they take, according to that, the size will be bigger. These attributes contribute, bytes. How many bytes? They consume bytes. How many attributes according to their data type? They also take bytes. They consume more bytes. Then, primitive data types can be used anywhere in your program. But availability of user-defined data types depends on their scope. You can create a int type variable anywhere of your program. Yes or no? But can you create a student type variable, student type reference variable anywhere in your program? No. You can do it in the student class or in the subclass of the student or in the same category. There are some scope rules. Another example, the point class we have discussed before, having x coordinate and y coordinate. So point is another class and its reference variable can be any name or not. Otherwise, see, another example is rectangle. Rectangle can be anywhere on a plane. Can be drawn anywhere on a plane. So, the rectangle can be drawn at any point. So, you require the point object while drawing the rectangle, as well as the length and the width. Raghunathi, Minerva, So you require the point 1 and the two other attributes, length and breadth. So see, with the rectangle class, with the rectangle data type, you are creating a reference variable rect1 which takes two values, only length and the breadth, but it is not taking not accepting the point. Okay, that means in the constructor point is given, point is already given. In the constructor point is already assigned. Okay. Only you have to supply two things, L and B. But you see, that is another constructor, rectangle. So here is another constructor's example where point is taken from outside. That means you have a point ready. So that you are supplying to the constructor while creating the reference variable of this class. So now you can do the program. Just a homework for you. Write the program using this point and rectangle classes. Rectangle class. Yes. You have only this. You understood that in the rectangle class two constructors will be there. Okay. One is the two arguments, another is three arguments. And in the point class, you understand that a point object will be there. This point constructor will be there. Okay. Now you have to draw the rectangle. Or not? So in the main class, you will create the rectangle object, that is the rectangle reference variable, and just you have the show function. Another function, show function, to show that rectangle will be drawn at this point, at point, let us say 50, 70, with length, okay, with the length suppose 30 and breadth suppose 15. So that your show function will show. Okay. It's not drawing, but rather it is showing that the rectangle has been drawn at this point with length this much and width this much. So, when you have discussed all these things, actually we have not mentioned that three different things are taking place. Three different things have taken place, like declaration. See, point 1. When backstart is there, that means declaration is over. Okay. Then instantiation. That means when this new keyword is executed, instantiation means object of this point class is created. when this new keyword is encountered by the interpreter, then a new object is created. Okay. Of which class? That you have to see. The class which is mentioned here, point class. Okay. And another thing, that is last one, initialization. The point 20, 40. Point 20, 40, that calls the point constructor to initialize that gets the point constructor to initialize the values to the object. Because any point object has x coordinate and y coordinate. Those are initialized here by this constructor, point constructor. Okay? So that is the initialization portion. So here it is again describing, you see, point 1, rectangle rect 1, this is all declarations example. Instances stating the object, the new keyword is instantiating the object, that is, it is giving space, it is giving appropriate location for the object. Okay. So that values may be stored. In page 72 you see, 172, initializing an object. Here the example is given of the point class. I was telling you to create the point class and rectangle class and have the show method in the rectangle class. Have the constructor and the show method in the rectangle class. See, part of your work is done here. Point class is mentioned here. Okay. Now this. So in this point constructor you can see this assignment takes place. Initialization takes place. Then next one we have using objects. So actually once we have created the object, we have assigned values to the object, we have initialized values to the object. After that we will require to refer those for some calculation, for some display, or not. So we can do, actually object gives you two ways to do these things. First is manipulate or inspect its variable. We can manipulate or inspect or see its variable. Or we can call one of the methods of the object, one of the methods of that particular class to see any value. Because that is responsible of the method to show you the value. See. Here the examples of referencing an object variable is mentioned. Point 1 was the object of which class? Point class. Point 1 dot x will give you the value in x. Rect 1 was the object of rectangle. Rect 1 dot width, rect 1 dot length, okay, are useful to get the values, get the contents of the particular rect 1 object, rectangle object. Okay. So that means variable, reference variable dot member name or object reference dot member name you have to give. But remember that you can give in the same class. But remember that you cannot do so in a different class if the member is private. But in any case you can do so in the same class. Okay. But this referencing to the object variable will not be done in a different class if that member, okay, you are referencing, that member is private access, has private access. Okay. So, in that case, if that happens, that means we are not able to getting the value from a different class because that was a private class. That's because that was a private member. The private member value we are not getting in a different class. So that means we have to call the object. Call the object method. Okay. You have to call the method, call one of the methods. The next one is calling object method. You have the same format you have to apply. Object reference dot method name, and in the bracket you can supply any arguments required by the method. You may supply or may not according to the requirement of the method. You see here one example, ref2 dot move 40,70. So this is the 40,70 is another location, another point where the rectangle will be moving. The new position of the rectangle will be that one. Okay, if it was earlier 50,70, this point, new location will be 40,70. And also directly, you can see, directly you can call. You create the object, new rectangle 100, 50, that is rectangle object created, and directly call with your dot operator, dot area method. Then area will be calculated. Maybe that area method provides you a value. Okay. So that value you can provide you a return value. That you can get in another variable of integer type. Okay. You can see here it gets that value in area of rectangle or not. So next is controlling access to the members of a class, that is the access specifier. I was discussing that private public. Okay. These are the access specifiers: private, protected, public, and at last default means nothing is mentioned before the member. Okay. So let us see what they do. If a private is joined, private is prefixed as the access specifier. Okay. It will not be accessed outside the class. So how can you access from outside? You can call another method which is public. No, out from outside class. You can call another method which is public of this class. Okay, where this private method is there may be another method which is of public, access. Okay, you call that, and that public access method, that method can call this private method. Okay. By that what we do, we restrict the access from outside. We restrict the a particular confidential method from access by other people from outside. Okay. Protected. So you can make a method or a variable protector. Okay. Actually, the protected methods are accessible by the subclasses of this class. Okay. Subclasses. Whether the subclass is in the same package or in different package. But all the classes of the same package will get this member. Because the member is protected, all these subclasses will get, also all the package classes will get, same package classes will get. But default, that means no access specifier is given. That means this member is accessible by all classes of this same package, not in the subclasses. But if the subclass is of the same package, it can get. Public, see, you can access in the same class. Public member you can access in the same class. You can access in the subclass. That may be in your package or outside your package. Okay. Then all the classes of the same package. Also, all the classes of any other package. Okay. But in case of protected, it was only all the classes of the same package. Okay. And any subclass of this package or any other package. Okay. Which are protected. But with public, anybody can access. Any different package class. Default means only package. Only the only the classes of the same package. Okay. In a package you have so many classes. Okay. Only those classes. In those classes that can be accessed. Not in other package. But public means everywhere. It is also called, this default is called friendly access. Default access or also package access or friendly access. Here a table is mentioned also, you see. If these specifiers are there, where the member is accessed. If private is there, only if class it is accessed. If protected is there, it is accessed class, in class, subclass, package. Public is there in all class, subclass, package and in the world, everywhere. Okay. And if package is there, that is friendly access, default access, then only class and then same class and then same package classes. So here the demonstration is provided, that is, this is the alpha class. In the alpha class, you have a private member. So, in the beta class, you cannot access it. You can create the object of that. You can create the reference variable or object of a alpha class in A. But when you are trying to access, this is page 176. When you are trying to access that private member, it is illegal. It is a compilation error. And also that method, the private method, if it was there, that also is not accessed. Okay, in the beta class. Okay. But it is not actually, if you had access in the alpha class, the same variable, if you had access it in the same class, this private variable, if you access in the same class, alpha class, then it has no problem. Look at this. The next example, in the same class, the private member is A. Okay, is accessed. And no problem occurs. Now you have another example. Access specifier here is protected. The members are protected. So you have a Greek packet. You have a packet called Greek. First class is alpha, next class is gamma. Both are of the Greek class. You know how you will include your class into the package. Just write the package name on top. So after the alpha object is created, A can be this private member, the protected member, that is the protected variable and protected method can be accessed, because both the classes are in the package Greek, and so the alpha class member variable and member method can be accessed in the gamma class. This is all legal. Next one you see. You have a different package, that is Latin. And here you are also importing all the classes to your package, because otherwise you cannot create at least the object. Accessing is a different thing, but you cannot create the object if you don't have these classes in your current package. That's why this requirement has means this line is there, import Greek.star. Okay. Now all the classes of the Greek package is there here, along with this same delta class. Okay. So now you can create this delta class as a subclass of the alpha class. Delta extends alpha. Now you see in the delta class you have an access method. There you are taking two objects, alpha class object and delta class object. As you know, see, because it is the subclass of alpha, you cannot access with the superclass reference here, because it is illegal. You can access with the subclass reference. Okay?